Hey guys, Mars Thinking here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so some surprising news has just dropped on Twitter for both Global and JP. A couple of EZAs being announced, and certainly some unexpected, interesting ones. Some that we've been waiting for some time, and then another couple that definitely wasn't really expecting for part of this celebration. So we have the physical Super Kaioken Goku and the Paikuhan, who obviously on Global is STR, but on JP is INT, which is interesting. I brought up the JP one as well because these units were a Global first, and then they came out on JP a little bit later and they were buffed, right? The Goku is different on JP, and then the Paikuhan not only is INT, but his passive is different. So it'll be interesting to see if, like, post EZA, they are actually the same. And then we also got the announcement for TEQ Janemba and AGL Paikuhan. So, like, these two EZAs have definitely been long awaited. The Janemba one is going to be a crazy buff for a lot of extreme teams, hopefully. So I haven't actually looked at any of their details yet. We're just going to record this straight away. The tweets have just been posted. So we're going to get our my initial reaction and see all the details right here. So I've been waiting for this guy to get an EZA for ages. I think the only downside is because he is such an old unit, his super attack animation is really bad because it's obviously so old. But either way, hopefully he will be good, because he was very good on release. I remember summoning for him on Global. But okay, so he's a physical types leader. I guess that's not really important. He's got Key 4, attack and defense 200%, high chance to dodge, randomly changes int key spheres to key spheres of another type. So that's random. So he just changes int orbs to another random color. He can survive KO attacks up to once within a turn. That's interesting. When HP is 80% or more, he gets an extra 100% defense. When HP is 80% or less, he changes physical key spheres to STR. When attacking with 12 or more key, he gets attack and defense 100%, and then an additional attack and defense 50% when HP is 80% or less. When he gets an STR or physical key sphere, he does 2 additional super attacks, just guaranteed. So the first part of his passive, he could randomly change the int orbs to either STR or physical. But then if you're below, if you're 80% or less, he guarantees to transform the physical ones into STR. That's interesting. For every STR or physical key sphere obtained, he gets 40% attack and chance to crit 10%. With an AGL TEQ or INT key sphere obtained, he has guard. And then for every AGL TEQ or INT key sphere obtained, he has extra attack and defense and extra dodge chance. That's interesting. So he changes the orbs himself, but let's say he changes a bunch of them to AGL and then there's a ton of AGL orbs. He won't get the extra attack, he won't get the additional super attacks, but he'll get a bunch of extra attack and defense, guard, and then a bunch of extra dodge chance on top of the 50% that he already has to start. So that's very interesting. So on a turn where you want him to be a bit more defensive, you can pick up ideally the AGL TEQ or INT orbs. And then if you want him to be more offensive, like if there's a slot where there's no attacks, you can get STR or physical orbs, and he's going to do a bunch of extra attacks with a higher attack power and then crit chance, which is interesting. He massively raises attack for 1 turn, which is 100% raise, does immense damage while sacrificing 5% HP. I think the only massive downside is that he doesn't have raised defense on super of any kind, because obviously, especially on that turn where if you're picking up the STR or physical orbs and he's doing like 3 super attacks, it would be nice if he was raising his attack, because realistically he's getting 100% on super. So once you've picked up all the orbs and you look at the menu and see what he's on, he's then doubling that when he attacks, but that's all the extra defense that he gets. So that's interesting. I mean, he could be quite good. Let me look at the JP one. Obviously I can't read the Japanese, but like, are these numbers the same? Key 4 200%, yeah, that's the same. Attack and defense 100%. That's attacking with 12 key. The something 80% and defense 50%. I mean, yeah, he seems to be the same post EZA, which is good, because I think their stats might be slightly different as well, which will be interesting. But yeah, then we have the Paikuhan. So Paikuhan is an STR types lead. He gets attack and defense 150%, all enemies defense minus 50%, launches an additional attack that has a high chance to become a super, For 4 turns from the character's entry turn, he has a high chance to dodge. For every super attack performed, key 1, attack and defense 20%, which seemingly can just go up infinitely, so that's interesting. Chance of performing a crit and chance of evading enemies' attack 10% up to 50. So if he attacks like 5 times, which is, I don't think he can, but if he attacks 5 times in the first turn, he would have 100%, well, within the first 4 turns actually, you just need to attack 5 times and he has a 100% chance to dodge. When the target enemy is attack down or defense down, he gets 100% extra attack. Before receiving an attack within the turn, he has 50% damage reduction. When all allies attacking in the same turn are other World Warriors or tournament participants, he gets attack and defense 100%, chance to crit and damage reduction 20%, launch an additional attack that has a great chance to become a super. So on the right team setup, like in slot 1, he's going to have 70% damage reduction, whilst also having 50% chance to dodge on turn 1, which then builds up. That seems pretty good. Obviously, I don't know, in some of the more difficult content, it's like, is he going to be able to build up quickly enough to be a solid slot 1 who, like, isn't dodge or die? But that's definitely very interesting. And his super attack effect is raise attack and defense for 1 turn, supreme damage to the enemy, and greatly lowers attack. I feel like he should have been a stacker. I mean, I guess maybe that's too much because he has stacking in his passive. So technically he is a stacker because he gets key 1 and 20% attack and defense for every super attack that he does without a cap. So on the first turn, if you have the tournament participant allies, if you're hitting these ones from his passive and the hidden potential, he can super 4 times. So obviously that is pretty good. Gets a lot of build up out of that. So yeah, he seems decent. He's obviously the only on JP. Oh, they fixed him on... No, he does have Prepared for Battle, which is funny because he's like the only non-Saiyan character in the game on Global. He has Prepared for Battle, but the JP version doesn't have Prepared for Battle, and appears to be the same from what we can see. So yeah, he seems pretty good. Then we have the TEQ Janemba. So TEQ Janemba, Corroded Body and Mind is now 3 key and 180. Extreme Class 3 key 130. Attack and defense 180, guards all attacks, 50% damage reduction. Oh wow, so that's like the stuff that he would have got on his orbs, like he just has, right? Extreme Class allies 2 key and 30% attack and defense. Then if he gets 3 or more type orbs, Corroded Body and Mind or Uncontrollable Power, gets an extra 30%. And then launches an additional super that has a great chance to become... Oh, sorry, an additional attack that has a great chance to become a super. And then if you get a Rainbow Orb, you get 150% defense and another 30% damage reduction. Jeez. So with a Rainbow Orb, this guy has 80% damage reduction and guard. That's pretty crazy. And for every attack received, he can build up attack and extra damage reduction. Oh, he loses damage reduction. That's interesting. No more than 50%. So he will eventually get to the point where he only has the 30% damage reduction from the Rainbow Orb. That's interesting. So it means, I guess they're trying to give you a reason to actually want to transform him, because you used to just never transform this guy, right? Because obviously he's going to start off with 80% damage reduction if you're picking up that Rainbow Orb, but every time he gets hit that gets lower and lower. So that's interesting. Yeah, he raises attack infinitely, raise defense for 1 turn, does immense damage to the enemy, and then when you transform, so this guy used to be terrible, to be honest. Like, you just never wanted to transform with him. Attack and defense 200%, randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to another type, changes key spheres AGL to rainbow, guards all attacks, high chance to dodge. Yeah, that was the thing, is like this Janemba didn't have guard, I think, unless you picked up an orb, so he was like weaker defensively when you transformed him, whereas now that seems to not be the case. 3 or more type key spheres, he gets an extra 100% attack and defense and a guaranteed additional super. Rainbow Orb, he gets an extra 30% chance to dodge. So yeah, with 1 Rainbow Orb collected, this guy has an 80% chance to dodge and has guard. After he dodges, he will then get a crit, so on his next attack. So if he dodges in slot 1, then obviously he's doing the crit. And then when he attacks with 12 or more key, he gets 250% attack and defense. So that seems really good. And he greatly raises attack and raises defense for 1 turn with immense damage for his super. So they've made him significantly better, which was, I guess, like what they really needed to do. Because now, although he stops being a support unit, Like, it's actually worth getting this guy out because he will be a good defensive slot 1 option. Whereas this guy will be really good defensively early on, if you're getting that rainbow orb, and then obviously get slightly weaker defensively over time, but will still be a very good, like, floating support with good post super defense for some of these extreme teams. So he seems really, really good. And then AGL Paikuhan, let's see, we got, yeah, Connected Hope is obviously now 180 super class 130. He gets 200% attack and defense, high chance to dodge, super class allies 2 key attack and defense 30%. For 7 turns, he gets 200% extra defense and guard. Okay. 3 or more type key spheres obtained, he gives other World Warriors or Connected Hope allies 30% attack and defense, and launches an additional attack that has a great chance to become a super. With 1 rainbow orb, he gets 4 key, an extra 20% chance to dodge, and seals the enemy for 2 turns. So then, yeah, he has 70% chance to dodge if you're getting the rainbow orb. And then when attacking with 12 or more key, he gets 200% attack and defense. So again, as like a floating support, he's going to be looking pretty good post-super with all these stat buffs. And then a 70% chance to dodge and guard for 7 turns. That seems really, really good. And then, yeah, he has the unit. He has the super attack, greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn, immense damage and lower attack. And then he has the unit super with a Goku or Vegeta Angel, which is to greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn, immense damage. Oh, it's 1 of 2. There's another one. We need to find the other Paikuhan tweet. There we go. There's the unit super Paikuhan tweet. So it's greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn, immense damage, attacks effective against all types, and greatly lowers attack. So the difference being, like, obviously this is already greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn, immense damage, greatly lowers attack. So it just gives him effective against all types. That's basically the only extra bonus. But yeah, he seems really, really good as well. Really good floating support unit. Like, even if you don't have other World Warriors or Connected Hope characters, he's still giving superclass allies 2 key and 30% attack and defense. So that's really, really good. Yeah, these guys all seem actually really, really strong. Well, these guys, the Dokkan Fest, which is what we would expect. Will Dokkan do the same thing they did with the Cell and Goku Gohan, where they make these one Extreme Z battle? Because that would be very disappointing. I imagine these guys will be, because obviously they released together on like the same banner. But yeah, they seem okay. The Kaioken Goku seems very interesting with the way his design works, of having the kind of different roles he can perform depending on which orbs you pick up. And then Paikuhan seems interesting. I don't know if he's going to be strong enough to be a slot 1 early on, but him basically getting this like infinite stacking with each super, whilst also getting the actual raise for the turn on each super, he could potentially be looking at some decent like post-super stats. And obviously on global, him having prepared for battle means he fits on teams with like Saiyan characters very easily. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. But yeah, these EZAs definitely seem very, very good. Hopefully they'll be out before the end of the week. We should get a data download soon if that is the case. And I'll let you guys know the details. We'll do a team building guide and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let me know what you think of the EZAs down below in the comment section. Which one is your favorite? Let me know all your thoughts down below. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.